Good morning, and welcome to the Be the Light meditation on Wednesday mornings. I am Jan Jorgensen, and it's funny, I'm a little sleepy because I slept for about 12 hours, except for the time I got up in the middle of the night and said, I want to meditate and I want to have an amazing spiritual experience. And I forget sometimes that we're having amazing spiritual experiences in this human body all the time. But I get an idea in my head that I want to do something really out of the box and amazing. So it's almost as if I ask or dare or command. I say, let's give me a visual, visceral, real physical experience of this spiritual world that for humans is by and large unseen, unknown, and a big mystery. Of course, as I've walked on my spiritual path, I truly learned that every moment we are co-creating with Source. And so it's about, this is what it's about. It's about not getting so involved with the story and mechanics of the physical world in life and co-creating what you want in the material world, but stopping what you're doing, stilling your mind in the still point. This is time. This is like an electric current time, and this is space. And we have to, I'm trying to get this right with the camera, everything's backwards. In that dot in the middle where they intersect, that is the still point. It is called the 0 point. And as we go throughout our day, we're creating mostly from what we've created before, what we feel comfortable from our memory and what our personality dictates. But it takes erasing all of that and coming to the empty still point, 0 point. Because within that 0 point, your brain activity comes down to a no thought level. You can't create something from the future, from a universal stream, if it's tainted, contaminated, or wobbling with other thoughts present. From this little, it's not a kernel because it's an empty space. It's a space where the energy comes and goes through one of the grids, communication grids that surrounds the planet and laces out into the galactic core and laces out and connects everything. It's like a big net, internet. It's a universal internet, unseen, but it's there. There's the communication, there's the travel, and time and space. So we have these 3 grids simultaneously wrapping around everything in beautiful, lace-like, balanced perfection. And then you have man, who just is kind of like a mutant, half fear-based, half occasionally falling into Source, feeling guilty. It's just big drama here. So the whole spiritual path is learning to be like the Buddha, let the thoughts go, let your frequency raise so you actually have a halo. I've seen it in those aura field pictures of the electromagnetic field of a human. 0 point, no thoughts, and that tiny, tight little place of you being able to see, access, travel, know, bilocate starts going, oh, the aperture opens, and suddenly your consciousness, the true of your being, minus your spiritual density, suddenly can go through there and ask and intend to have wonderful, amazing experiences. So first I have to say that in the past, when I was just very actively saying, what's it all about? I would stop and I would say, I demand that I be shown an experience right now that helps confirm that I'm actually on my spiritual path. And truly, when you ask and you demand, all of those interdimensional beings who do work with you in your vibrational field and the field of time and space, density and everything will say, uh-oh, someone's getting very frustrated. Let's give her a little something. And so often you'll get a cloud that goes in a certain shape. Or this day I went like this. I was doing a program, it was called Over the Rainbow. And you know, the artist, the money, everything. It was the big artistic event. And it was just so altruistic and out of my budget. I went like this. A CD fell on my desk. A stream of light came in and it beamed a huge, pure rainbow up on my own vision board. And I said, well, it is a rainbow, and it did happen when I asked for it. So watch for those little items. Sometimes, I mean, don't ask for a spontaneous healing or things, because those are a little harder to orchestrate. And you know what? You got to go to the still point, and you got to be in that still point, the 0 point, and really have harnessed and focused the ability for a large amount of mitigating or aligning frequencies to come in to override and create a new dominant frequency that can move those particles around instantaneously for instantaneous healing, for the skies to part, for smoke to blow away over your house. So that's being in the zone. And that does take a lot of practice, but let's face it, we have the ability to do that all the time, but it's instilling our mind. So the first thing I ask people on their spiritual path, or they have issues or anxiety, whatever, I say, well, tell me about your meditation practice. And so last night I was saying, I want an experience. And of course, my spiritual guide, I hear a voice saying, tell me about your meditation practice. Okay. All right, so that's our responsibility. It's like trying to be thin with no exercise or diet. Meditation and practice is the key. If you still your mind, this is the quantum physics part, for 21 seconds. 19, no, 21, 20, 19, 18. That's a long time. Because I can get probably 200 thoughts into 21 seconds. But you get to a point where even if you say, am I having any thoughts right now? That's a thought. It is the place where you are just erasing like a chalkboard. There's many ways to get there, and that's what the focus of the meditation is today. It is the highway in. In fact, it's the only way in to still our thoughts. I'm even a proponent of not using new age music or something to get us in there. That when you're using music, it is getting you there on the consciousness of the creator of that music, the process of the recording of it. It is writing somebody else's magic carpet. And to get your own absolute source connection, you do not need music created from someone else's ideology of another time and space to let that take you in. Maybe at the beginning for beginners, but I learned working at the bedside with hospice patients. The creator will give you the frequencies and the vibration exactly what you need to access that state if you ask directly and clearly. Just as the hospice patient who wants to go to heaven into the unknown realm, I hear the frequencies and the music that is not of this world, is not recorded somewhere, it's not frozen in time. It is improvisational, in the moment frequencies to go into that person's body, that it does not evoke any memory, but that frequency actually matches the fear, the attachment, the anchor in their body. So everything that is fresh And sourced from source is just like the fresh food movement. I mean, presence, freshness, appropriateness comes not from old programs and thoughts and plans and being on automatic. It takes taking that step, a step that evokes the deepest fear to let go of our thinking. And even as I was contemplating this morning, I said, okay, I'm going to do this on letting go and still point. And I said, and I'm recording, guiding other people. What if I lose it and I get to a place where I'm at still point and I can't communicate or continue, and then I'll lose faith. I mean, I got fears about going to still point, but then I remembered one of my jobs, my contracts, is to be a messenger of these principles. I need never fear if I am in service and assisting you to uncover that next nugget to help you on your spiritual path. I don't get it through thinking. I actually get it by letting go, and it's always worked. And in fact, I laughingly tell people that there's been 2 incidences where I am guiding people through a healing process. It was a couple, and I'm talking, and after a while, I went like this, and I woke up, and I looked around. I thought, where am I? What am I doing? They said I never stopped speaking in these beautiful, carefully chosen words, and I just never lost a beat. So that was Spirit showing me it's not through my thinking. All I have to do is ask and intend, and it goes on autopilot. And the words and the activities, because I've set the parameters, are coming through fearlessly. So it takes a lot to step into that letting go. At the hospice bedside, I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth. Tones. I just trust, because I have set my ask and intend that the right tones come through to assist this person. It's perfect. When I did these meditations, what comes through always does seem to fit the receivership. Does that make sense? I'm not doing it for me, though I listen and I learn my personality self, but there is this higher guidance that I am just allowing my voice and my listening to wrap around and give you a message that you can digest safely and have a new expansive spiritual experience. So back to you. What would you like to experience? Okay, then I ask you, how's your meditation going? Because that's how you're going to experience more and more of it. When you go into this zone, you can ask and intend to experience vibrational fields of feeling, of healing energies, of traveling somewhere and residing and experiencing all that. It is your key, your golden key to all that is. Of course, there are some basic hygienic rules for staying safe. So when I do the Be the Light procedure, I always say I ask and intend to set a sacred space. Sometimes I'll add in, but I usually do it inside. Only energies of the highest light may be in this sacred space now. What that means is any interloping energies that feel free to come in and break the universal law, that I should just have my own energy field without their attacking thoughts, latching on to me, trying to even cozy up in my energy field and eventually affect me with their vibration and thoughts. There are so many violations now by humans intending interference, running interference on other humans. I mean, even people in our own family doing it just to get their way. But there's many other layers and layers and layers of interdimensional forces and beings and consciousnesses. I mean, there's so many names for them, it's crazy. When you say, I ask and intend to sit in my sacred space, only energy is the highest light, you're setting a bar, a boundary, just like you wouldn't hang out with someone with lice because you're going to get it in the physical world. You need to cleanse yourself so that you're not going to start getting negative thoughts and fear and not be able to go in that 0 point and harness and move the particles of reality around. We all want miracles. Eventually, with this work, you'll have them. But first, we have more magical synchronicities, more ability to feel good, shift things around, have some insulation from this barrage of misaligned frequencies shooting everywhere. So we ask and intend to set this sacred space. And what does that look like? It is a geometrical structure. It is like a pyramid, which is perfect. One going up and then one going down. And their bottoms are together. So, but you are standing in the middle of that. There's a point down. There's a point up. So take a deep breath. I'm going very slowly through all of these principles, even though we do them every week, so you can actually access the stilling your mind and going to the 0 point today as much as possible. Take a deep breath through the nose and out through the mouth. And that sequence tells your neurological system to begin to settle. We ask and intend, call in high vibration spirit guides, because they already know how to do this. And just by being in their presence, enveloping us with a circle of love and support, your game is already better. We ask and intend that we still our thoughts, and also that we feel safe and grounded. And this entire process, we will be fine. We will be okay. That this is a safe, relaxing process of moving into this state of no thought. Imagine the big chalkboard in your mind is now being erased, and that any energy emanating, little sparks of thoughts, are now dimming, and your entire mental, energetic field is becoming a still pool. No thoughts, no activity, complete calm. Take a breath through your nose and out through your mouth as we allow all of our brain frequencies and activity to come to the resting point. We are stating to ourselves that it is just fine to let go. We are putting our busyness and our ego to bed, tucking in nice and safely to come back out later. Right now, we are choosing to see and experience ourselves as a consciousness with our big girl or big boy eyes, our inner eye. So feel this emptiness within your head. It is actually a velvety, black, soft nothingness. Nothing. So imagine that there is this grid, this connected grid, the fiber optic cables It has always been there, but it has eluded you. And it is looping in beautiful patterns throughout this earth, throughout the galaxy, and throughout the entire universe. And notice that there are actually entry points, just like getting on a freeway. The entry points, let's call them 0 points. And go ahead and imagine that within this gridway, that a little aperture like a camera that is hollow in the middle, that you are choosing to reside in a 0 point. You are simply guiding yourself with your heart opening and allowing yourself to merge with the 0 point. This is the place of all possibility. With that intention that we began with, to have a spiritual experience can now be realized. So in this 0 point, we are asking and intending that we connect with our spirit guide. We're in the communication fiber optic cable grid. And we are present, we are moving within and through this 0 point. And we ask and intend to have an experience, which can be sound, light, color, even auditory words. This is how people speak to the Creator, to the saints, the masters. So I will be silent for a couple of minutes while you allow yourself to reside within this 0 point, and then we will come back. Take a deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. As we gently come out of that 0 point and come back here into the video for a mini debrief discussion. Notice how you felt with that encounter. And realize how easy it was. Notice if you felt safe. Notice if you had experience of a message or a vibration, support, inspiration. And now I will tell you my surprise experience. We ask and intend to merge with the 0 point to encounter and learn from a spirit guide. Spirit guides are teachers. They're not always angels. That is us forming and pushing. Who came to me in great surprise is actually the consciousness behind the mask of our present President Trump. And he said, I'm here for an important reason. I'm showing everyone the outcome of being a carrier of mistruth. He said, I've tried to show you that by denying the truth hurts not just everyone in my little circle, but can actually begin to break down an entire political system and eventually the world, if taken to its furthest. He said, if I can get everyone to be silent and not say the truth, he said, that's what I'm here to teach, to remind people to speak up for the truth, or I will be a tireless tyrant, for I am the teacher of mistruth. My promises mean nothing. I would double cross my own family. I double cross my own integrity all the time. It is all to teach you discernment and to say, stop me. Don't allow mistruth to scourge the earth. Anyway, that story goes on and on, but that was my surprise. And it was a great teaching for in our various incarnations to become the full countenance of the Creator. The whole experiment on earth is to experience dark and light, polarity, light, and to finally work within a field that is pure creation light. And you really couldn't do that if there was unconscious push and pull. Trump has shown us the face of evil and how it operates. Before, politicians would do it in back rooms. Now it's black and white, glaring. So that's what that teacher had to say to me. So how often should we meditate and when? Going to that still point. The best time is in the morning because you're still in the dreamy state. And so you get up, make your spine nice and straight before your coffee, and you drop in. I ask and intend to set a sacred space. I place a whole lot of balance around me. Only energies of the highest light may be in this space now. Take a deep breath, still your mind. Make an intention before you still your mind. And then it all comes together. I mean, it's just like trying to get both of your eyes to see together. There's a certain locking on point where then you can see third dimension. Otherwise, things are flat. If your eyes aren't working together, they take turns. It's exhausting. So we are learning to drive the high speed consciousness into that 0 point and have remarkable, unusual, but not so unusual experiences and widen your aperture of all that you can take in, learn, and know and experience in this human body while still living in this social system that other people might not quite get and understand, but will in their own timing with your assistance and modeling safe, conscious activities. So that's today's meditation. I thank you for joining me. This was really fun because it helps me remember what Jan needs to do as well. SoundandLightHealingArts.com here in Olympia, Washington at present. Thank you.